I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today for our webinar Wednesday with the Encaptis group. Today we are welcoming Steve Aroldi, who will be educating us on Third Wave's marketing campaign management solution. As many of you know, we have worked closely with Third Wave Business over the years, as they also offer other integrated solutions like Crystal Wave and everything that enable us to kind of take business, SAP Business One to that next level. So the presentation is going to be about 30 to 40 minutes. I am going to be muting all the lines as per usual. And so if you have any questions, just feel free to type them into the chat field over on the right-hand side of your screen. And then we will address them at the end as time allows. So without further ado, I will... Now, presenter. Are you the presenter now, Steve?
I am the presenter now, I believe, and thank you for unmuting me, Joanna. I appreciate that. And I think we're ready to move forward.
Perfect.
Well, great. Well, thank you, everyone, for taking the time to visit with us today for this information about the marketing campaign management solution and how it can help each and every organization that's running the SAP Business One solution. Again, my name is Steve Aroldi, and I'm the Director of Sales here at Third Wave Business Systems. Sorry about that, trying to get my computer to catch up with me there for a moment. So let's talk very briefly about the agenda for today. It's very short and very simple. We're going to talk a little bit about Third Wave Business Systems, and then we're going to provide a high-level overview of the marketing campaign management solution with CRM functionality built into it. And then we're going to move on to a demonstration of the MCM solution and finish up with a little bit of question and answer or wrap-up period at the very end. So a little bit about Third Wave Business Systems. We've been in business since 1993. We've been an SAP partner since the very early part of 2004. And like the Encaptis group, we're consistently a leader in terms of customer satisfaction and support of the SAP Business One community. We've been developing solutions to enhance the SAP Business One solution since the very early part of 2005. And we have been an advisory council member since 2005 as well. A little bit about our marketing campaign management solution. It is one of our newer solutions in the Third Wave suite of products, meaning it's been in existence for a little over a year now, about 14 months actually. MCM, as I call it, is an integrated solution, and it's designed specifically for companies who want to manage their CRM and marketing functions from within one vantage point, making complete marketing and prospect campaign life cycles easier to manage. It does eliminate the need for third-party, non-integrated solutions where users need to enter the same data more than one time and raising the chances for errors. So what is marketing campaign management? Well, marketing campaign management is a single solution. It's integrated into Business One. It delivers powerful CRM or customer relationship management capabilities and marketing campaign management capabilities as well. It allows users to perform complete lead management functions from initial contact all the way through to invoice and beyond. Managing leads, assigning activities, follow-up notes are now more simple and easy to use. Campaigns are easy to manage and very easy to execute. The ability to create multiple phases to a campaign, making them active or draft, are very, very easy in the application. It's very intuitive. Marketing campaign management, as you will see, navigates just like Business One. So by having a very similar navigation tool, it's very easy to learn the MCM or marketing campaign management solution. Lastly, I just want to mention that marketing campaign management, it is a tool that does provide a 360-degree view of not only your customer relationship management activities, but also your marketing activities, and allows everyone in the organization, whether they be in sales, service, purchasing, or whatever department, the ability to understand and leverage the importance of marketing and what it can do for the organization. So I'm sure you're asking yourself, why would we want to use the marketing campaign management solution? And I'll try to explain that here over the next couple of minutes. So what is marketing campaign management? Well, it's a solution that provides a single view of the organization from a marketing perspective. I want to manage my CRM functions, my marketing functions, all of my follow-up activities, all in one local location. It gives me the ability to get the edge in today's competitive marketplace. Companies have got to respond faster to inquiries to stay ahead of your competition. This gives you that tool. Wouldn't it be great if we could actually target our marketing audience, create specific campaigns and programs that are simple and easy to set up, targeted towards specific prospects and customers? The information is the key to our success. The more information that we capture and retain about a prospect, the easier it is to market to them in the future. MCM provides that tool. A little bit more about who uses marketing campaign management and what it can do. It allows us the ability to manage large prospect lists, campaigns from one easy interface. We eliminate multiple sources, things like Excel documents or several Excel documents or Access database. We eliminate all those things and do it from within one local source. We've completed some of the marketing activities, and now we want to track the results or reap the fruits of our efforts. Well, marketing campaign management allows users to track that information, meaning I can track quotes and opportunities and invoices and orders in the system. As data is entered into the MCM solution, it is available real time to others, making information available when we need it, and it's useful information. As your marketing efforts continue over time, it is important to understand what your prospects and clients react to during those marketing campaigns. Therefore, it makes it easier for you to market to their specific needs in the future. Managing leads today is so critical. Having the ability within one interface makes it easy to track my leads, to track my activities, to assign activities to others, to assign follow-up activities, and to track my follow-up activities when they're needed. A little bit about features, and I'll take just a moment to point out some of the features in MCM, and then I'll dig a little bit deeper into the features in my demo here in a couple of minutes. So as I mentioned earlier, MCM is a fully integrated CRM tool. It allows users to create and manage marketing campaigns from nurture to order. It leverages both SMTP and Constant Contact to deliver marketing content. So there's lots of flexibility in how you can deliver content to your prospects and customers. As I mentioned a moment ago, you now have the ability to track the results of a campaign, and I'll show how users can actually see their opportunities, see their orders, see their invoices that are related to a specific campaign here in a moment. Lastly, as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, MCM is that 360-degree view of your prospects and your customer base. Now sales, service, marketing, purchasing, and what have you can be aligned to make more informed decisions about your prospects and your clients because they all have access to that one source of the truth. Now let's flip over to my SAP Business One environment and actually take a look at the application. I took the liberty to open a few screens, and we'll navigate through some of the screens here and show you how the MCM or Marketing Campaign Management solution works from within SAP Business One. As you can see, we have a menu item here, MCM, and within the MCM solution itself, there are 4 menu items, and I've taken the liberty to open the 4 screens here for us. I'm going to begin here at a document library and talk about what documents can do in terms of facilitating the process to get information out to prospects, suspects, and or clients. The document library is exactly what it sounds like. It's a repository of information. So here you can see I have a few documents in my library, and this could be an unlimited list. It can be a PDF document. It can be a Word document, an XML, an Excel document. So you have several options here. I have selected the first line item called OEC Company Bio, and it's under the General tab. When I take a look at my related documents, you can see here that I've got a communication template, and the name of that template is a suspect intro letter. Let me explain what a communication template is. It is a template where I want to quickly send off a piece of information to either a suspect or a nurturer, a prospect in my database, or an existing client. And I'll explain that here very quickly. I'm going to move over to an account screen in Marketing Campaign Management. Let's assume that Sam's Electronics was a new prospect that just called in today or was just created in my database today, and I want to quickly send off a letter of introduction and a thank you for reaching out to us. I can simply create that communication template and come here and do a right-click on the screen and simply select the communication template suspect intro letter. What will that do? It will send off a letter that we've pre-formatted, and I'll show you that in the template in a moment. Send off that letter to the individual along with the attachment that I just showed to you here in the document library that we've identified, which was this OEC company bio. So we have the ability, whether it be in our marketing campaign management solution, to quickly send off data to our prospects and suspects, but as well we can extend that to any screen in the SAP Business One solution. Let me minimize this and show you a little bit more on the templates themselves. Here was that template I just spoke about in the account screen that you saw a moment ago. You can see here that I could create an activity when I send off that letter. You can see here that it is tied to an account screen in marketing. But you can also see that I can attach any kind of communication template to any of the other screens within SAP Business One. And I have an example here that I'll show you very quickly. Let me scroll back to the very first document in my template, and you can see here that I have a business partner reseller certificate request that's tied to my business partner screen in core SAP Business One, and my template happens to be an email template. It could be an email or a print template. In this example, it's an email. So by moving over to my business partner screen, I'll show you where I can associate communication templates not only with my nurture or prospects, but also with my SAP Business One customer base, my lead base, or my vendor base. You see here off a right click on the business partner master screen, I've got that option now to send off the business partner reseller certificate request to this end user. I just wanted to show you that very quickly because we have the ability to associate these templates with any one of the screens in SAP Business One. Now within this particular template, you can see that I've attached a reseller certificate, so we could attach multiple documents here. Well, how do I edit that message template? What does that actually look like? Let me open the message editor for you briefly here. The message editor leverages Microsoft Word as its editing tool. So when we open the message editor, you can see we pre-formatted a letter here, if you will. And because it is the Microsoft Word solution, we can do virtually anything we'd like with this in terms of we can make things bold, we can change fonts, we can add in graphics, and then we can customize this letter by simply coming up here to the very top of our screen and selecting some of the query fields that are available via a standard SAP Business One query or SQL query, and inserting that tag or that field, if you will, within our template. So I wanted to show you very quickly how we leverage messages or communication templates within the marketing campaign management solution to help facilitate the process to get information that might be repetitive on a constant basis. Now what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about marketing campaigns themselves. Here you can see I've got a screen, marketing campaign. And in the header level of my marketing campaign, I've identified the name of my campaign. What type of campaign is it? Is it a new customer acquisition? Is it email? Is it print? Maybe it's a radio campaign. Maybe it's a print campaign, whatever it might be. So we can identify different types of campaigns. I actually had a client that was using marketing campaign management to manage their trade show management activities. So where they're renting booth space and all the associated items that go along with managing a trade show. they were managing that from within their marketing campaign management solution. So we identify what type of campaign it might be. We also put in here a call to action. It's just one of those simple reminders from a marketing perspective. When we're creating marketing campaigns, we've got to have a call to action. We've got to have the client available to do something or respond to something. We put in here a campaign description so we can kind of describe what that campaign is all about. And then maybe we'll add in some objectives about the campaign and what we'd like to do. I want to point out we do have the ability to do a constant contact integration, and I'll talk about that in a moment. This particular campaign is leveraging what we call SMTP, so our internal Microsoft Outlook servers. So moving down to my General tab, you can see that I have the ability to create different statuses. And by the way, most of these fields are editable by you, so the information and language can be whatever you would like that to be, so it's more fine-tuned to your business. In this example, it is an approved email campaign. My potential responses was 10. And I could forecast a budget if I would like to for this and what my expected results might be of my campaign. So I want to spend X number of dollars on it, and I'm hoping to get back some revenue based on this, what my actual launch date might be, and if I actually sold something and created something. We also have the ability here under Account Project from a purchasing perspective to associate an AP purchase with a marketing campaign. So now I can drive reports out later on when the campaign is complete, looking at what we actually spent to build this marketing campaign, and then what the actual revenue was from the campaign itself. And then moving over to the right here, we can see we've got some fields for actual responses, actual cost, and these are static fields right now in this particular build. In the future, there'll be some more interaction here or integration here as well. The last three fields that you see on my General tab talk about my quotes, my orders, and my invoices that are associated with this particular campaign. And when we move over to the Results tab, we'll dig a little bit deeper into my quotes, orders, and invoices. Let's take a look at my List tab here for a moment. And you can see I have 3 tabs under List. Within my campaign, I can have several phases to my campaign. My first phase might be an email that was sent out. My second phase might be a follow-up call campaign. My third phase might be a print campaign. And my fourth phase might be another email campaign or a call campaign. So we have the ability to create unlimited phases within our campaign here. We put in a date when the campaign was actually sent, what the status of my campaign might be, and then here we identify a query using using MS SQL. So we create a query which is going to drive out the list of names we're actually going to market to. So let me talk a little bit here about list data. So I've got a test email here that I've identified, and you can see I'm only sending this to one person, and I've done this by design because I want to show you what an HTML email can look like here in a moment. So what we've done here is we've identified phases. We've identified who we're going to send it to via our query, and we can also preview our list data of who's going to receive this particular campaign. Now let me move over to my email message. As you recall, in the beginning, I talked about the ability to have SMTP integration as well as having a constant contact integration. This here is SMTP. So as I look at my phase name, I can see that I've got phase 1, and if I had multiple phases, my drop-down would show multiple phases here that would be available, so my content can be different for each one of the phases that I've created. I could create an activity against the account or the suspect prospect name if I chose to do that by simply checking this box here. I can put where this email is coming from. I can customize my HTML. Now this looks a little bit daunting here when you look at this if you don't understand HTML, but if we simply go over here to the Edit HTML message, it's going to open a new window that now becomes much easier to use and has the look and feel of something like a Microsoft Word type application. This is something that I created on the fly, not very difficult to do with putting in columns and grids and linking it back to JPEGs or graphic files back on your server if you would like, if you understand HTML at all. It's very simple to work with. I can also preview and see what my finished product is going to look like. If I were happy with this particular HTML email I wanted to send, and I've already selected my list, I could simply come here to the Send Mail. But before I do that, I also have the ability to send along static attachments. And those attachments can be, again, a PDF. It could be a Word document, an XML, an Excel document, whatever you would like. By simply selecting the Send Mail, the system's going to ask me, are you sure you want to send the email? I'm going to say, go ahead and send that email off. If I had a list of a few hundred names, it would grab that list of names and send it off via my SMTP server to the email addresses that were associated with the query that I had just selected. In my example, I only used one name. Let me move over now to the Results tab quickly. I want to show where we have the opportunity to track invoices, sales orders, quotes, and opportunities based on a campaign itself. So let's take a look at the sales invoice tab and take a look here, and we can see that there is an invoice associated with Norm Thompson. I can also go back and look at earlier dates by simply just selecting a date range and saying Show. And as you can see, I could select a number of records that I wanted to see. In this particular example, there was one sale or one invoice that was created. And I can drill back to the originating invoice in SAP Business One. And I drill back because I wanted to show one very important feature. What we've done is we've added a field on the AR invoice, campaign code. So any of the campaigns that we've created are now associated with the sales opportunity, the sales quote, the sales order, and the invoice screens within Business One. So we now have the ability to track that information and then run reports and look at the results of a campaign based on what we've actually spent on a campaign. That's a little bit about using SMTP to manage a marketing campaign from within SAP Business One. Now I want to talk for a moment about a marketing campaign where we might leverage something like Constant Contact. And for those of you who may not be familiar with Constant Contact is a third-party solution. It is a tool that you pay for and manage lists, and you can create different email content. And you can see I created something the other day, and I called it Test 01. Test 01 is nothing more than a template itself. So I could go out onto Constant Contact. I could create a template, and I'll just show you what I grabbed here. It was something very, very simple that was in their system. So I could create something very, very rich with all kinds of color and graphics and all those kinds of fun things. So we can leverage Constant Contact, and you can see here under Campaigns, where I've checked the Constant Contact integration, turned that on. I see here I've got a campaign Test 01. That was the graphic I was just showing you in the Constant Contact solution. And if I had multiple campaigns listed out there, you would see that list here available. So I could select the campaign I wanted to send to and simply go ahead and update and send that campaign out via Constant Contact. Now the General tab remains the same. The header information at the top, again, remains the same. My call to action, my campaign description, and so on. What changes a little bit is when we move over to the List tab, you can see I still have 3 tabs here. But what changes here is when I look in my grid, I can again have multiple phases for my campaign. I can have different statuses where they're in draft or they're scheduled or they're sent. But now I have 2 different queries. I have a list here from my SQL query in Business One, where I'm actually pulling the list that I want to send this to. I also have a list in Constant Contact. So by simply highlighting this line, I can look at my mapping data, and I can update by checking this yellow box here. I can take all of the information that is in my list and push that up to Constant Contact. So there's no need to have a manual export/import process into the Constant Contact tool. The Marketing Campaign Management solution will take care of that integration and push that data up to Constant Contact for you. The last thing that I have the ability to see here is my list data. What's that list that I just created based on my query? What does that look like? Who am I actually sending to? And whatever fields I made available in my query would be displayed here. Now moving over, you can see my email message has been grayed out, and that's because we're not using SMTP anymore. We're using that constant contact tool. But now I have the ability to look at some statistics. Now in my example, I have two levels of statistics here. I've got what I call my global campaign statistics. And as you noticed, I had created this campaign just a few days ago. And you can see that it was created on the 7th of November, and the last edit date was today because we were just in that particular campaign. And you can see that I haven't sent any, but if I had sent out this email to a list of contacts that I may have uploaded into Constant Contact, I would see that number that it was sent to. I would see the number of people that had opened the email that was sent to them, who may have clicked through, bounced, forwards, anyone who opted out, and anyone who may have reported it as spam. The other thing that I would see, if there was a list that it was sent to, would be the actual individual statistics. So it was sent to 12 folks or 100 folks. I would see that list of names here, and I would see the whether they opened, whether they opted out, whether they bounced. So it does bring back both global and local level statistics on a Constant Contact integrated email campaign. And finally, I wanted to mention on the Results tab, it's again the same. I can see by sales invoice, I can see any invoices that are related with this particular campaign. And I can see the document number, the business partner. I can see orders. I can see quotes. If I had opportunities, I could see opportunities as well. And then here I would see my business partners, which are my SAP Business One business partners that are customers. And I would see my accounts as well, which are part of my marketing campaign management lead list, if you will. And we're going to talk about our account screen / leads here in a moment. So now let's talk about accounts. Accounts is somewhat of a misleading name as we use it here, and it's we struggle with naming this because really what this is a prospect. Sam's Electronic is a prospect company that has several contacts within the Sam's Electronics organization. And you can see I have unlimited name list here, so I could have 1,000 names associated with Sam's Electronics. I can list Sam as a suspect or a nurture type account, or convert it to a business partner in Core Business One. You can see that I can track all of the general information that looks very, very much like what it looks like in Core Business Partner SAP Business One. When we convert an account like this, and you can see this one has been converted to a business partner code of 007, and it has a consolidating business partner as well, we'll bring all of this data forward by simply clicking 2 mouse clicks, and we'll bring that data forward. So again, we have the ability to look at contact people. Within the contact people, though, I did want to mention we have the ability to identify whether these people are okay to solicit or not okay to solicit. So in this example, Sam's Electronics, this particular contact, Joe Thomas, we can solicit him. If he were checked to a no in our query that we build to look at the different opportunities we want to market to, if this were an N, it wouldn't bring up Joe Thomas or Sam Thomas, whoever's been identified as an N here, not okay to contact. And then we have general remarks and information here. Multiple addresses from a bill to, ship to perspective, and all of this data does come forward into Core Business One when we do the conversion. We also have related activities here. So as I'm marketing to Sam's Electronics over the course of time, whether that's 3 months or 3 years, anytime we create a marketing campaign and we send some things out, we can generate activities here so we can go back and look at what types of campaigns may have been successful to entice Sam's Electronics or those contacts at Sam's to actually come in and raise their hand and say, hey, I'm interested in buying something, or I'm interested in a particular solution. We also have the ability to track both interest and demographics. So interest would be any of the item groups or items within our SAP Business One item database. We can put dates. A lead source. Where did this lead come from? Did it come from a trade show? Did it come from an email campaign? Did it come from a call-in? Did it come from a radio ad that we may have run, or a TV ad on the local TV? And then we also have the ability to track campaigns that we've actually created where we've sent some campaign information to Sam's Electronics. Lastly, on this prospect/account screen, I have the ability to track some of the demographics. Demographics would be the item or industry code that they would fall under, so we can create these on the fly, and those that are needed by you in your organization, so they're customizable. Standard industrial classification codes can be tracked that are associated with the different industry groups. I can also track annual revenue, number of employees, and then you see here I wrote in height for a demo I did previously. These are completely editable by using the standard control double click. We can change any of these descriptions to whatever is more pertinent to your organization, therefore customizing or localizing it to your business. So we have the ability to track all of that information, and as we move forward and we want to create new marketing campaigns in the future, we can create marketing campaigns based on maybe industry codes, maybe size of organization in terms of annual revenue or number of employees or standard industrial classification codes. So we have lots of flexibility here that's delivered with the MCM solution around how we want to manage our suspects and prospects or nurtures, whatever we want to call them. We also have the ability to create activities. So from a call campaign perspective, if this was an email that I created and they raised their hand and they were interested in something, I'm logged in here as Tom Manager. You have the ability, like standard SAP Business One, I can take this and I can assign this to another individual in my organization. I can put a date to it. I can put a remark and some content, link a document, but you see all of the pertinent data, the business partner data, the contact information comes over as we create that activity. And we can handle things like follow-ups like you normally would do with your standard SAP Business One activity screen. I also want to mention that by simply converting to a business partner, and in this case, this particular business partner has already been converted, the system won't allow us, you see in the lower left-hand corner, this lead has already been converted to a business partner. We can't replicate the process so we have multiple entries in the system. But if I simply click the yellow arrow here, I can come back to the business partner master data screen in Core Business One, and you can see on the business partner master data screen, I've got an account code field that's now enabled here in the screen. And you can also see I now have an interest tab. By having an interest tab here, I can now start to create campaigns where I may want to market to not only my suspects and prospects that we've been trying to nurture over time. I can also do some campaigns against my existing client base that could be based on their interest. It could be based on any of the other pertinent information that we have here within that business partner. So all the data does come forward that we've created as they are a marketing type opportunity. I also wanted to mention that you do have the ability to have some reports. There are several queries that are delivered with the solution, and they're here under the Query Manager like you normally would see in Core Business One. I've taken the liberty to use our, what used to be known as our Crystal Wave solution, now known as Advanced Productivity Pack, and I put a couple things out here in terms of you can put some charts and some graphs out here with lots of functionality to drive out some of the results and see what types of results you've had with a particular campaign. So we can drive reports that way as well. I did want to show you the email that we created a couple of minutes ago in the SMTP folder. We'll just let this load for a moment. And you can see that I had a quick chart that I created and the salespeople that sold some of the products based on that particular campaign. But these queries, these charts, reports can be anything you would like them to be. Let me quickly move over to my Microsoft Outlook here briefly and see if that email actually came in. And there it is. I set up a test version here. And you can see this looks strikingly like what you saw in the SMTP or the HTML document that we looked at just a few minutes ago as I was going to create an email campaign from within my SMTP environment. And here you can see I've got that MCM information, that attachment, static attachment that I had along with that comes along as well. And we could create that activity in the background and have that available. We can put links in here out to wherever. You see I have a bit.ly link here as well. So you can do all kinds of fun stuff and have your opt-out information at the bottom. Please reply to, unsubscribe. So we have the ability to put that there as well. Now let me move back here. And I think we've pretty much covered everything that I wanted to talk about today in terms of the MCM solution. So as you can see, this is a very flexible solution. It does deliver lots of information and opportunity to drive out marketing campaigns, whether they be leveraging the Constant Contact solution or leveraging the SMTP servers. You can drive that information out to your client/suspect prospect base and track the results of those campaigns real-time as those things come in. Lastly, I wanted to mention that the system does come with a full help file. You can see I'll open this up here. It does come with a full help file to explain, how to do lots of things. How to remove accounts, how to add, update, how to delete a constant contact list. So there's lots of how-tos that are delivered with the solution as it's installed on your local server.